okay? I know the lighting isn't great, but it's pretty late at night, and it is the only time that I have had to film in the last 2 weeks. So I'm just gonna lean into it, and in the spirit of filming things that are imperfect and full of pauses and ums and ahs, we're just gonna roll with it and have a cozy catch up over a candlelight and some artificial lighting. Hopefully, you can still see everything when I am editing this. If it's too dark, then I will try to do some color correction. We'll see. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you who left such kind feedback on my last video. As I mentioned in the last video, there's lots of ums and ahs and pauses, and I've really been trying to challenge this notion that I have to be, that I have to spend a lot of time polishing my videos because it's just real talk. And I personally really enjoy watching videos where it feels really casual and hopefully cozy. So I hope that I hope this video can be something like that for you as well. So we're just gonna have a cozy catch up, like I said. On the side here, I've got some hot water because I am far behind my 8 glasses of water a day goal. So we're just gonna try to catch up. And I think this is my third glass of water for the day, and it is, granted, it's a pretty large glass, so if I drink a few more of these before I go to bed, then I should hit my goal. And of course, I always like to have a snack. This is a sesame cake. I have the packaging. Let me just grab it. And this is kind of what it looks like. This is called crisp sesame cake, and I don't know, it's basically, I think it's just sugar and sesame seeds, and then they are separated in the package by these like rice or wafer things. I really love these. They're not overly sweet in my opinion. They're kind of crunchy, and I like to have them as a snack after a meal. So I'm just gonna go enjoy this now. That was really good. Okay, so I made myself a list of what I want to talk about today because I do have a tendency to ramble, and I'm going to try to limit myself to 3 things when it comes to these kinds of cozy chats, because I always get overexcited and make a list of many things I want to talk about because I'm indecisive and I'm excited to talk to you about things and to catch up. But today we are going to stick to 3 things. So the first thing I want to chat about is InCoWriMo. It is something that I have cut out of the last 3 videos or so just because honestly, timing constraints. And I've talked about it in my community tab, but I don't think that I've actually addressed InCoWriMo on my actual video. So that's the first thing I want to chat about. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up my purple ink for March because it is Friday, February the 28th, and it's time to switch over to a new ink. And I'm so excited because you'll see, as much as I loved this month's ink, it was a little too saturated and broad for this Hobonichi paper. So you'll see I had a lot of bleed through, and I'm not going to abandon the book. I definitely did not love it, but I'm just excited to switch to a different ink for the month of March. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is, or the third thing that we're going to do is take a quick flip through of my traveler's notebook, which is kind of my memory keeping and journaling, long form journaling book for this year. In my last video, I went through all of my books, and I had intended to go through this one as well, but that other video got so long that I ended up cutting that footage out just for the sake of not making the video super long. So we'll do a quick flip through and catch up of how things are going in here, and then I'm pretty sure that is already going to be a long enough video. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about is InCoWriMo and kind of a what's in my Stappo because if you aren't aware, InCoWriMo stands for International Correspondence Writing Month. And this is the second year that I have put a lot of effort into participating in it. So, in my community tab, just like last year, I put a Google form and invited anybody to sign up to receive some happy mail from me in the month of February. I ended up getting about 34 responses before I closed down the form. Originally, I was aiming for like one per day in February, and so I was really happy that to see the response was so great. I was super grateful for all of you for inviting me to send some happy mail and also sharing some feedback because I did ask for some feedback on what you would like to see content wise on my channel. So if you participated, thank you so much. And I have been receiving some notes here and there of people receiving their happy mail, and I'm so glad. And I had so much fun putting it together. So a few things that I wanted to celebrate. Okay, so the first thing is look at all the washi tape that I made, that I used in my happy mail. So for every happy mail, I wrote a letter on a postcard, and then I included a washi tape sample. And I also decorated the envelopes with washi tape and some stickers. And this is the most satisfying thing for me. I had so much fun curating different color palettes based on what the people who signed up for letters shared with me in the sign up form. And I just have so much washi tape that I've really enjoyed actually using them. So last year I got through almost a similar amount of washi tape. This year I think I counted something like 44 or 47. I can't remember the exact number, but there is quite a lot in here. And I've been really reducing how much washi tape I buy. And so it's honestly been really satisfying to see my washi tape storage box slowly whittle down. And I don't know, I just think I want to celebrate using things up because I am a stationery lover, and I certainly buy my fair share of stationery. So, I do it because I love it, but I also really love to share things. And so, in the spirit of sharing things, which is, I guess, going to be the theme of March, because spoiler alert, I do have a few giveaways coming up, and I'm so excited to share those with you. So, if you aren't already subscribed, please consider subscribing and staying tuned for a few really fun videos coming in March. But anyway, these weren't necessarily full when I started, but they're definitely empty now. And then this Stappo is something that I purchased when I was in Japan at the Tobichi store. And originally I had intended on using this to house stationery on my desk. But while I was kind of preparing for InCoWriMo, because I worked on the letters in the evenings and on the weekends for a few weeks until I was finished all of them, I ended up turning my Stappo into my InCoWriMo kit, I guess, and I just wanted to share it with you. I thought it would be fun to show you, and I was thinking after InCoWriMo was over, I would empty this out and, use it for its intended purpose, but I've been enjoying this so much that I think I'm actually going to keep it this way for Happy Mail moving forward, because while I don't think I'm going to do a big push like in February where I commit to doing like 36 Happy Mail letters in a month, I definitely want to keep up sending Happy Mail to some degree because I really enjoy it. And it's a really fun way to use my supplies and share my supplies. So I'm thinking about how I could, make that work. But in the meantime, I think I'm just going to keep things as is. So for the first part of this video, I thought I would show you how I've been using it and what I've been keeping in it. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so in this back pocket here, I have envelopes, and I've pre-decorated some of my envelopes already. In my InCoWriMo envelopes, I sort of figured, like, I guess one of the things that I did when I was prepping for it is I kind of broke out each task and then worked on them sequentially, if that makes sense. So when it came to the envelopes, I decorated all of them kind of all at once. And then when I, wrote my return address, I kind of did that all at once. And then when it came to writing the actual letters, I used these postcards that I kept in this middle pocket, and I sort of wrote all of them in one go. So I wrote all of these first, and then I kind of set them aside, and then I used these. I actually have some of them already sort of prepared, but I use these little tags that I've had for a really long time, and I use these to make washi tape samples. So everyone who got Happy Mail from me would get a washi tape sample, and I like to tuck these in here, so when I was ready to work on those, I would be able to grab them here. And then I also liked to put little bits of ephemera, so sometimes I would put some of these papers. I also had some like PE tape cutouts. I also had little cute pieces of, I think these are like washi paper. It's like collage paper. And so I just had a lot of fun kind of flipping through and picking little bits and pieces that I thought would kind of go with the theme of the color palette that the person said they liked. And then I have these stamp washies. You know what? I think it just got really dark. Let me just go turn on the light. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. There's a bit of a glare, but hopefully that's better. Yeah, so I have these washi stamps, and what I would do is I would put one on the postcard. So it was almost like sending you a postcard, but in an envelope, because I didn't want to send the postcard just like this. So that's kind of how I decorated it. So I kind of keep all my like postcard like stickers and washi tape in this pouch, along with this little thing of collage paper. And then I have my deco rush. So I've got 5. I got, I think, 3. I got most of these 2 years ago. And then I got this Yumi Kitagishi one in 2024. So I keep these tucked in this front pocket. And then the last thing that I have in here is I have this custom, I don't know if you can see that, but littlecocostudio stamp. And I'll show you, I'll just stamp one of these envelopes to show you. But what I would do is I would put a little stamp on the back, just like that. And I actually got this stamp custom made when I was in Japan. So in a future video, I want to talk about a day trip that I took in Osaka. And one of the things that I did was I went to a store, I think it was called Marozan, but I have to double check. This was a recommendation from Himawari Stationery, who I had the extreme pleasure of meeting in person, and I still can't believe we were able to coordinate that and make it happen. So I do want to talk about that and share my memory from that day, because it was such a great day trip that we took, and it was so fun to spend time with Himawari Stationery. But anyway, she told me about this place where I could make custom stamps, and I went, and I think the stamp turned out so cute. So I'll talk about it more, I guess, later. I do have some footage of me actually making it. I love this stamp, and I've decided that anything that comes out from me or any kind of happy mail, I'm gonna try to remember to use this stamp. So I keep it with my other happy mail things. And yeah, okay, that's dry, so I'm just gonna put that back. And that is my Stappo. So I just thought it would be nice to share how I've been using it. I think it has worked out really well. So when I want to send happy mail in the future, I think it's really nice to have everything all together, because sometimes I overthink how I want to approach it. And now that I've done this big batch of letters and happy mail from February, I almost feel like I have I guess I just have this renewed sense of motivation to do more. So stay tuned, because I think I would like to continue sending mail in some way. I just have to figure out a way to do it sustainably. So anyway, that is my Stappo. The next thing that I want to do is start prepping for March. And I'm not necessarily going to do like a full plan with me setup, because that'll really drag out this video. But because tomorrow is March 1st, I'm really excited to switch to a different ink, because as you can see, the bleed through from this ink has been crazy. And part of that, I think, was the fact that this Sailor Pro Gear Slim is a fine nib, and I think for this year's paper issues, because this is one of the bad Hobonichis, I really want to stick to extra fine nibs, just because, as you can see, it just turns the pens into like really broad writers. And this was quite a dark ink to begin with. So this was Sailor Kingdom Note Grape Dyed Cloak, which was a sample that I got from Leanne Likes. So it is a beautiful ink, and I have used this pen on other notebooks that don't have the paper issues, and it's a joy to write with. It's really nice and flows well, and it feels really great writing in this pen. So it's really just the paper, I think, that was the main problem. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing if the next ink can maybe not do this. So on that note, I'm just gonna grab, okay, so we're gonna return to this Sailor Pro Gear Slim, which is an extra fine nib. And I used this pen in January, and then I switched to this one just because I wanted to make that transition from January to February easier, instead of finishing January with this pen, washing it, waiting for it to dry, and then re-inking it. So I just figured alternating pens would make things a little more seamless. But let's go ahead and pick the ink. So I kept all of my purple ink samples in this box, and at the beginning of the year I kind of loosely put little stickies on what month I thought I could designate to what ink sample or ink bottle, and I already didn't follow that, because I had put Teranishi Classy Burgundy for February, but then I got this sample in January and I got so excited that I kind of bumped this one and used this instead for February. But I think because this one looks kind of like a darker ink as well, I think I actually want to try going for a lighter ink in March. So I've got this ink, which is Tomo and Lims Friendship, Fujino Maihime. I'm probably butchering how to say that. And the other one I have is Ohara Museum of Art, Usagiya Signa Corals of Aversi Violet. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but anyway, there's this one. And then I guess I also have Birmingham Penco Canterbury Raisin, Birmingham Penco Magnolia Mirage. And I would say those are my lighter purples. Now, I've already used these 2 ink samples in the past, but I haven't used these 2 yet. So I think I'm just gonna go with the original thought of putting March with the Tomo and Lims. So that is this sample, and I actually have quite a lot of it. This was from an ink sample advent that I participated in last year, and I can't remember why, but most of them were these smaller ink samples, but this one for some reason this is like almost 5 milliliters of ink, which I'm not complaining about, but yeah, for some reason I guess some of them had more. So I'm gonna grab my little tape dispenser, which is what I am using to keep my ink samples steady. And I'm gonna grab my coffee filter. Gonna grab a sip of water. And let's ink this up. So, apparently I need, one second. Just gotta make sure this is a Sailor one. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna use, I just need to find one of my little pipettes. Okay. Don't want to overfill it. Okay. I'm just gonna actually just double check that I push that in all the way. Okay. So I'm gonna let this, whoops. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of put it nib down for a little while to see if we can get that ink to flow down. So I will just put that off to the side here. And while we're waiting to get that inked up, I'm going to do a little bit of prep into my March. So again, you can see the bleed through is kind of crazy. I'm definitely not a fan of it, but we know this is a thing for 2025, and it is all about acceptance. Oh, and also, this was a very satisfying discovery, but I didn't I pretty much used this pen exclusively with this book, although I did do some pen tests in other books just because I wanted to see if it writing so broad was this book, and it is, but it's so satisfying. I pretty much wrote it dry, and I love that. Okay, so we will also clean this, but we will do that after. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a paintbrush. And I'm gonna kind of do March. That looks really bad, but I'm gonna do March over here. So okay. Let that dry. Try to let that dry. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to go to my notes section, and I'm just going to use this. And I do this for every month. I used to do it with pen, like just my fountain pens, but I like the idea of using the actual ink. I'm sorry, I used to do this with marker, but I like the idea of using the actual ink for the month. And in case you haven't seen any of my other videos, I randomly and impulsively decided that for 2025, because this is a purple book and I had a ton of purple ink samples that I really wanted to use, I decided that I was going to dedicate a different purple ink for every month of 2025, unless I get really tired of the idea, which I might. I get tired of things pretty easily, which is why I usually go for neutral colors and plain notebook covers and things like that. But so far I haven't gotten sick of it. Oh, that's really nice when it gets saturated, actually. Maybe I haven't been putting enough ink on my brush. Okay, now I want to make this darker. I wonder what, I'm actually excited about what this will look like in a pen, because so far I've only done, I've only used a Kakamori brass dip pen and a brush. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be legible. Okay. Oh, I like it when it's really saturated. Okay, and then the last thing is recap. Okay, and at the end of the month, what I do is I just do like a free form kind of brain dump of all the positive and negative events that feel noteworthy for the month, and then I pick 5 of the best events and I list them here. And then here I just write down every person that I connected with, whether that was virtually or physically, virtually or in person. And this is just something that I like to do kind of as a really nice reflective exercise at the end of the month, because it's really easy to forget what happened, I find, and this is a really nice way for me to reconnect. And I actually did my my February recap just earlier today, and I couldn't believe all the things that I had already forgotten happened in February, so I really like this exercise. Now I'm curious to see if this pen has finished. Let's see. Okay, it hasn't quite saturated yet. I know I can force it a little bit with the converter, but I think I'm just going to leave it for now. So we'll try that again, maybe at the end of the video. I'm just going to set this aside. So that is March prep. And the last thing that I want to do, let me just double check. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Okay. The last thing we are going to do is a flip through. I'm just going to move this so I don't get any ink all over me. We're just going to do a quick flip through of how things are going in my traveler's notebook. So as you can see, I've got 3 inserts, and I'm going to start off by saying it's going pretty well, but I'm not necessarily updating this as frequently as my planners. And that's just because when things get really busy, this is less of a priority than my functional stuff, which kind of keeps me on track when I have a lot of things to take care of. So this is my gorgeous traveler's notebook that I got customized in Kirishiki at the Superior Labor. I've added a little thing here in anticipation for trying to put a charm. I was thinking about moving my little jade necklace charm. So this is something that I used to wear when I was a kid, and I would be really sad if I lost this. So I was thinking about maybe moving it up here. I just have to do that. So that is a task for another day, maybe tomorrow. And then I just have these patches here, and I've got my charms that I got at the Traveler's Factory, Narita Airport. The pen I usually have one of my more long form friendly pens. So I have all my capless pens, or my vanishing points, that I use mainly for my journals and taking notes for work. And then I like to have one of my screw top pens as my sort of main journaling pen in here. So when you open it up, I've got stickers in this flap, more stickers in this plastic insert that I use to really protect my inserts from my leather flap, my leather pocket. And then we have my first half of a vertical weekly that I decorated with washi tape and some stickers from the 2025 Love and Trip sticker set. And I actually filmed a tutorial of how I do my washi tape because I had a few questions about that. And I ended up cutting that footage out because it was tagged onto a video that got very long and I just needed to make some cuts. So if you'd be interested in seeing that footage, let me know. I have it. I just haven't figured out where to put it in. Maybe I could make a standalone really short video. I'm not sure. But basically I have, I'll show you. I have this MT William Morris wallpaper style washi tape, and I basically use it to cover the entire cover, and I kind of treat it like wallpaper where I painstakingly match it up, but I think it's worth it because you can't really see the where the patterns change, although I'm looking at that now. Anyway, moving on. So I've mainly been using this as a memory keeper. I picked up this insert in Kyoto, and I ended up stamping it while I was there, and I figured it would be a really nice memory for me throughout 2025 to have of my trip. And I have the second insert. I decorated it kind of to be like a sister insert. So that is right here. So when the time comes and it's time to switch this into this book, which I think starts in, I'm guessing July. Yeah, July. Yeah, it starts in July. So yeah, I like that these two feel very similar. They're using similar stickers and just a different empty washi tape. So yeah, so this has been kind of an experiment, I will admit. I thought it would be, I wanted to have some kind of regular memory keeper, but one day a page type memory keeping books aren't realistic for me right now. And I thought this would be I thought this would be a more sustainable way to try to capture memories. The thing that I'm realizing already, about 2 months into the year, is number one, there are some weeks where I'm still so busy that even this kind of feels like a little too much for me. I think the difference is I also have a 5-year Hobonichi techo that I'm pretty up to date with, and I tend to update that once a week as well, because I'm just not very good at doing things on a daily basis, I guess, or I don't know. Batch updating is all right with me as long as it doesn't get out of hand, and I find doing my 5-year journal once a week has been very sustainable. I'm on my 3rd year of updating that, and I've kept it very up to date. I think the difference is that one is almost strictly a written type of journaling, and I have been keeping stream of consciousness, writing only type journals for as long as I can remember, pretty much as soon as I was able to start writing. But more creative journaling that goes beyond the pen, and that includes even like putting stickers down or putting photos down. That just, I don't know, it takes like this extra step of processing for me. And as someone who has a tendency to overthink things and struggles with perfectionism, I find it really challenging to journal in that way, even though I aspire to have more creative spreads, and I always have I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I've noticed that this has been harder for me because it's like extra processing, extra effort, and for me, I just have so many thoughts going on in my mind that usually when I sit down, I just need to start writing right away. And if I have any friction, like decorating or doing something else, then it just starts to feel like a blocker for me. And then sometimes I avoid the task altogether because I think, oh, I don't want to do this unless I have, a solid chunk of time. And I usually don't have a solid chunk of time. So I think what I've been trying to do is to take away that pressure that I'm putting on myself to make this like super creative. So I'll show you what it's been looking like. So I think I'm still kind of finding my way with this, but this was my first spread. So this was actually in December. We went away on a family vacation, and I tried like a bit of a collaging style, and it was okay. I wasn't really in love with the spread, but it was what it was. Then I kind of played around with, moving the book and kind of having my text in different ways. I played around with writing in all caps to see what I thought. I used some watercolor in here. I love how this turned out, but it did take time for me to complete. I also got really into playing around with how to break up the page and trying to really lean into this sort of like newspaper look. I don't really know why. Probably because it's very reminiscent of the Traveler's Time newspaper, I'm guessing, now that I think about it. But I was kind of thinking that this was nice, so I thought maybe I would try that again. And so here I tried to play around with it being like full on as if this were a newspaper, and I don't mind how this looks. So I've kind of been using the top here to note down activity events for that day, because I do fall behind on updating this. So sometimes I find it's very sustainable to just write down, a line or two in here just to remind me that when I do go in here to update it, I have something to work with. So for example, this week, there were a few packages that, because of the Canada Post strike, had seemingly gotten lost, or, we weren't sure if they were going to arrive. One of them was a package that Leanne from Leanne Like sent me, and it was really exciting to receive it this week. And I also received a package from another friend that she had sent like 2 months prior. So both of these kind of arrived in the same week, and that was very exciting. So these are the ink samples that Leanne sent me. She also sent me the Traveler's Notebook Road Trip TN, which I still am so in love with. And then my friend sent me this amazing package full of goodies, and this was just a really great week to remember. This week, again, I still wasn't really sure what I was doing or where I was going. So I saved some like ephemera from a package that I received. I also saved this tea, why can't I think of the word? Tea bag packaging. That my sister had, and I really enjoyed this tea. So next time I need to buy tea, I actually want to try to find this, because it was such a nice, I don't know, it was just really great. I also got 2 new inks, and I love these 2 inks. I have inked one of my pens with this ink 3 times, and I'm still not sick of the ink. And I also really love this ink as well. These are both Tatcha inks, and this one's called Suchi or Tushi, and this one's called Ume Murasaki. Okay, then I kind of just gave up on the newspaper look, because I think I was finding it was holding me back. Like, I was having a lot of trouble making things fit in that way, and I thought it's better to just update this than to not. So I just tried a slightly different layout where I just had like sections that were kind of delineated by photos, and I actually really like how this one turned out. And then this one was kind of a little all over the place, so I met up with Tiffany from Toxmot this week, and we ended up going to Wonder Pens and played with all of their stamps, and I just kind of went to town stamping my journal, and then she also gave me some craft paper post-its that I continued to stamp on. So I cut some of them out, and I've been kind of using them. I think I have one somewhere else. I don't know. Yeah, so I have one here, possibly, maybe. Yeah, I have a few more kind of dotted throughout. And yeah, I also documented our Lunar New Year's dinner. And yeah, that's how this spread turned out. So it feels kind of imbalanced to me, but also it's done. Like, it's documented the most important memories of the week, which was the whole point of having this spread or having this insert. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that I'm using it, I guess. We also went to this amazing cafe, and it actually, I realize, is the same name as the ink that I picked up recently. So if you live in Toronto and you are close to Little Italy, which is where this is located in, highly recommend it. Yeah, the food was really good. The drinks were really good. This is really great, and I actually can't wait to go back. This is a very text-heavy spread. I guess I had a lot to say. Yeah, so I talked about InCoWriMo. I also had a really busy work week, and I also got my very first portable photo printer. So I ended up getting the Canon Selfie Q20, and this is the Canon Ivy, I think. This was Tiffany's Canon Ivy. She let me try out her portable printer when we met, and I actually ended up taking the same photos and printing them with the Canon Selfie just to compare. So they're pretty similar. I don't know if you can really tell. I think this one was a little more vibrant, but this is the zinc photo paper, and this is, I don't know what, I'm blanking on what this is called, but it's the one where it kind of prints different layers of ink. Anyway, so that was this week, and this was also a really big week because this is when I finished writing all of my InCoWriMo letters, and I was able to mail them out. So actually, I think I finished writing them, and then I think I mailed all of them out the following week, but that was really exciting and it felt like a really big milestone for me. And then this was another kind of chaotic spread, but it was using a lot of bits and pieces from Happy Mail that I received. So I received a package this week. Actually, I received a few packages, and then I also got some Happy Mail from Simone from Simone. So I wanted to document that. And then I fell behind. So as you can see, I am 2 weeks behind, but I've got a couple of notes at the top just to remind me of like why I'm so behind. And I will update these when I can. Hopefully I don't fall too far behind, but I will say, like, while my planning system has been going really well and it's been kind of keeping me sane, this maybe hasn't been going as well, but I'm not too upset about it because this is really just memory keeping. And then this insert, which I will not show, is just my long form journaling insert. I have really grown to love using this as memory keeping, but also long form journaling. So this is already my second insert, and I'm almost finished. So it takes me maybe, I want to say like a couple months to finish these. And I don't necessarily write every day. I think I feel better when I write in here every day, but it's undated, so I can just come and use this when I need to, and I think that's honestly how I've always journaled, so this is perfect for me. I've got this Love and Trip pencil board, and then this insert here is just my sticker release paper. So one of my favorite ways to wind down is like if I've had a particularly stressful day, or I'm really wanting to zone out, is I like to grab my PET tape and sit there and cut them out and then refill my sticker release paper book. So I like to do that in front of the TV or watching a YouTube video. It's just one of my favorite things to do when I need to relax. And then in the back here, I have I just have a zipper plastic, like the other side of the plastic insert. And I just keep ephemera and stuff in here that I will likely be wanting to put in my memory keeping insert. So I like to kind of keep these things together. And that is my memory keeping and personal journaling TN. I honestly love this thing so much. It just fits so nicely in my hand. I like to bring this with me as well. I mean, obviously, I get nervous about, I want to keep this cover in good condition, but I also really want it to get used. And so when I go out, I tend to bring this with me. Sometimes I will put it in a pouch just to keep it extra secure. So I don't know if, let me see if I can find it. I don't have the pouch handy right now, but it's that Wonder Pens A5 zipper pouch that I got from the Wonder Pens and TSL workshop. I have a video on that. And this fits really well in there. So when I go out, if I want to have extra protection, I usually put that in the zipper pouch. And if I'm, say I'm at a doctor's office and I'm sitting down waiting to be called, I just pull this out and open it up to the journaling insert and sit there and do some writing. And I just love this book so much. It's very portable. I love this. So that is my TN. Before we wrap up today, I'm just going to check and see if my pen is ready. Okay, maybe not. So sometimes it doesn't take long, other times I'm surprised at how long it takes. Maybe I will try to force it a little bit just so we can see what this will look like. Maybe it's also because it's an extra fine. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. Hopefully that'll do. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Okay, so this is Tomo Lims Friendship. Fujino Maihime. And this is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in extra fine. Okay, so I'll give you a quick close-up. That's what it looks like. I'm really excited to use this in March. Hopefully it plays a little nicer with the paper because it's a bit of a lighter purple. And what I like to do is I like to put whatever ink I'm using that month in this front pocket here so I can remember. And I think that's it for today. So if you're still here, thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. Hopefully it wasn't too bad given the atrocious lighting situation. I will have to figure out a better way to deal with the lighting situation because I really struggle to film things during the day, even though I know nothing really beats natural lighting. But anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Let me know what you were working on or what you were doing while we were hanging out today. and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.